It's been about a week and a half since the Chargers wrapped up the 2025 NFL Draft, and after rewatching the tape, digging into the roster, listening to fans, and reflecting on where this team is right now, I have to say it. They finally got it. This offseason, from start to finish, feels different. Not just because of who they picked or who they signed, but because of why they did it. For once, it feels like the Chargers' front office sat down, looked at this roster, looked at Justin Herbert and said, "Enough's enough. We are going to protect this guy." What's up, Chargers fans? Welcome to the NFL Playbook Chargers. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. This channel is all about breaking down everything you need to know about the Bolts. Okay, if you've followed this team for the last few years, you know how big that is. We've watched Herbert fight through injuries, poor protection, revolving receivers, questionable play calling, and still find ways to put the team on his back. Whether it was dealing with a rib fracture or dragging a patchwork roster to the playoffs, Herbert has always delivered more than what he was given. And the frustrating part? He was never fully supported. The tools weren't there. The structure wasn't there. But this year, that's finally changed. Let's start in the trenches, because that's where this all begins. The offensive line, which has been inconsistent and injury-riddled for years, now looks like an actual unit you can trust. Branson Taylor, top tackle in the draft, was a monster pickup. Pair him with a healthy Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt, and that's your bookend future. That's protection on both edges. Finally. Then you look at the right side, where they brought in Mekhi Becton. Now yes, the health concerns are real, but the talent, the upside, that's massive. You've got one of the biggest, nastiest road graders in the league now working next to Slater and Andre James. Speaking of James, a solid center, technically sound, experienced, and now flanked by some serious power. But the real question is what happens at left guard. That's where things get interesting. Zion Johnson, former first-rounder, has had an up-and-down start to his career. There's even been some chatter about possibly moving him to center. But let's be real. That feels more like motivational smokescreen than a serious move. What we do know is that Zion's job is not guaranteed, and that's a good thing. This team finally has enough depth to push for real competition. Jamaree Caldwell, Bradley Bozeman, and even rookie Branson Taylor, all in the mix. For once, the line isn't 5 guys and a prayer. It's 8 or 9 guys who can actually rotate in without collapsing the whole structure. That kind of depth, that wins games in November and December. When guys go down, and they will, you need bodies who can step up. We saw it fall apart last year. The Chargers went into the playoffs without cohesion up front, and it showed. This time, they're planning ahead. But again, protection isn't just about linemen. It's about balance. And that's where the run game comes in. Look at the stable they've built. It's ridiculous, in the best way. Najee Harris, a 3-down back with size, toughness, and pass-blocking chops. Omarion Hampton, the rookie missile. A downhill, no-nonsense runner who might be the most complete back in the entire class. If he hits, he's a tone setter. And then there's still a path for JK Dobbins to return. Value contract, low risk, high upside. Not to mention Raheem Sanders, Kamani Vidal, and Hassan Haskins filling out the room. It's not just one back anymore. It's a rotation of bruisers, and each one brings something different. That means you're not just helping Herbert by taking pressure off him. You're also giving Greg Roman the tools to open up the playbook. We saw glimpses of it last year. That Week 4 shift after the Broncos game, the playbook widened. The run sets opened up the pass. That wasn't a fluke. That was Roman adapting. And now, with this kind of backfield, expect more of that and more unpredictability. You want play action? They've got the backs to sell it. You want inside zone, power, outside toss? This team can run it all. And suddenly, defenses can't just sit back and tee off on Herbert. Now, let's talk weapons. Because as much as the line and run game matter, you still need guys who can separate, win 50-50 balls, and keep the offense on schedule. The Chargers added Tre Harris, a fan-favorite wideout who has that T. Higgins-type mold. Big frame, physical, reliable hands. Perfect fit for that X-receiver spot. They brought back Mike Williams too, and if he's healthy, he's still one of the best jump ball guys in the league. Add in KeAndre Lambert-Smith, a burner with 4.3 speed who can take the top off. That's your field stretcher. And of course, Ladd McConkey remains the guy. Shifty, smart, reliable. He's the glue. All of this means you're not relying on Quentin Johnston to be the savior anymore, and that's important. Johnston showed improvement in year 2, but the coaching staff clearly built in contingency plans. If he rises, great. If not, they're covered. Darius Davis sticks around for special teams and gadget roles, and suddenly this wide receiver room, which ranked near dead last in the league before last season, is now 5 or 6 deep with real playable options. Let's not forget the tight end room either. That group has been underwhelming for a while, but now you've got Tyler Conklin, who's put up 500-plus yards and 50 catches in 4 straight seasons. Just a rock-solid pass catcher. Then there's Oronde Gadsden II, the converted wide receiver with legit mismatch potential. This guy isn't just a developmental piece, he's someone who can contribute right away, especially in 12 personnel looks. And if you want blocking, Will Dissly and Tucker Fisk can handle that. This isn't a position of weakness anymore. It's finally a balanced, layered group. So add it all up. And what do you have? You've got an offense that can go multiple. You've got an offense that can go physical. You've got an offense that's deep, versatile, and finely tailored around what Herbert does best. This is the most complete offensive unit of the Herbert era, and it's not close. Now, of course, that raises the stakes. The pressure's not new. It's been there since that Jacksonville meltdown in the playoffs. But now, the excuses are gone. No more, he didn't have the weapons. No more, the line couldn't hold. No more, the run game disappeared. Everything he needs is here. The talent, the depth, the coaching. It's all on the table. And they didn't ignore the defense either. They drafted Kyle Kennard as a speed rusher, someone who could step in behind Mack and Thule, learn and contribute situationally right away. They took Jamaree Caldwell, an interior defensive lineman with legit pass rush upside, something this team hasn't had since the best days of Melvin Ingram. They grabbed R.J. Makins, a smart, versatile safety who's already drawing praise from his former coaches. In fact, when you look at this secondary, with Christian Fulton, Elijah Molden, Benjamin St. Just, Cam Hart, Tarheeb still, and Derwin still doing Derwin things, this group might be sneaky dangerous. And Jesse Minter now has the zone-heavy, interchangeable personnel he needs. But everything comes back to structure. This is no longer a roster full of patchwork stopgaps and hope. This is a plan, executed with clarity. Ortiz and Harbaugh came in, cleaned house, made tough decisions, and now they've given Herbert something he's never really had, a full team. Not just a starting lineup, a full roster, backups, depth, specialists, scheme fits. That's the difference between flirting with a playoff spot and actually making a run. And I get it, it's May. Nobody wins the Super Bowl in May. But do you know what you can do in May? You can build a foundation. And that's exactly what they've done. For the first time, I'm looking at this Chargers team and thinking, this group is built to last, built to win in cold weather, built to run the ball when they need to, built to keep their quarterback upright, built to take a punch and respond. That's what separates the contenders from the rest. So yeah, I'm excited. For the first time in a long time, I think Chargers fans have a reason to believe, a reason to expect more, a reason to look around the AFC and say, yeah, we belong in that conversation. Let me know what you think. Is this finally the year Herbert breaks through? Did the Chargers do enough to take the next step? Or are there still holes you're worried about?